All right, we're here with Bill Holland, Bill Holland Cycles. He's here in San Diego. And Bill, we want to talk a little bit about your technology and your bikes, because some of these bikes here, probably some of the highest technology I've seen in any of the bikes at the show, especially this ExoGrid technology. Tell us a little bit more about what this is all about here.
This is probably the easiest way to explain it. The idea behind the ExoGrid is to try to build a tube that's torsionally stiffer. So performance-wise, you want torsion, but less stiff and bending, so you have a nice, comfortable ride. So you take a laser-cut titanium tube, and if you twist it like this, you can see that torsionally it's still stiff. There's a carbon tube that's laid up inside, with the fibers running the same direction. So that you again add torsional stiffness. But the bending stiffness is reduced. And then these little diamonds are hand placed. The whole thing is molded together at heat pressure, and you end up with a tube. They call it bifusion. It's pretty much one tube at that point. Then what I do is there's a little excess titanium on the ends that I can trim to any length and make custom frames. So you get the carbon content, all the great qualities of carbon fiber, which are its lightness, its strength, its vibration dampening qualities, but it doesn't have the one big downside, which is fragile. So the carbon tube that's actually doing all the work is on the inside. These protect it, so anything on the outside isn't going to get to it, and it's safe. So you have a frame that's, you can call it a lifetime frame. It's as durable as titanium, as opposed to a molded carbon frame, which is as good as the next nail you get in your tire and go through the back stays.
The next crash.
Yeah, exactly. So, and in addition to that, it allows me to build the custom sizes that I kind of specialize in. Obviously, a molded carbon frame is a great economical way to make a bike, but you're stuck with the mold size. So when you're building a bike for Bill Walton, you can't simply find a mold that's going to fit him. So that's kind of, it fits with what I do very well, and the ride quality is exceptional with the carbon and titanium, molded together. So
now, is this your patented technology?
No,
or is
I'm a licensee. The company that does this is called Biotech. They're in Arizona. And I'm one of the 3 licensees. There's Santana Cycles, myself, and Titus that do this. So any tubular structure can be improved by this grid technology, pretty much. They do baseball bats for Louisville Slugger. They do lacrosse sticks and golf shafts, all kinds of sports applications.
Now what about this ExoGrid technology you have here?
The ExoGrid is, let me show you that. It has the same idea. The grid is on the inside though, so hence ExoGrid, exoskeleton, ExoGrid, it's on the inside. The advantage to this is it's a little lighter than ExoGrid. The downside, of course, is that because it's exposed carbon, it's not going to be quite as durable in terms of side impact. The added advantage to this is that you can build a custom carbon frame, a very light frame, in any configuration, unlike a molded bike, and because you can always trim out a tube if it gets damaged, it's repairable. So those are the advantages and disadvantages. It's paintable. This is typically not painted. It's exterior is titanium.
Oh, why would you want to paint that?
Exactly. Well,
unless you paint. Well, so let's take let's take a look at these bikes now. This is Bill Walton's bike. Now, is this what, 70 centimeter? I mean, how big is this?
Yeah, 70 centimeters. 70 centimeters. Had a level top tube. Bill's 7 feet tall.
Wow.
And the wheels look like they're 650 wheels, but they're not. They're 700C.
He's got the Grateful Dead motif going on.
Always the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, look at the head tube, beautiful.
Look at the airbrushing on that.
Amazing. So you can paint this obviously, but you don't want to.
You can
cover up the and I love how you've done the Holland graphics.
It's all had to be hand masked. JB did do this. You would have to twist his arm pretty far to make him do it again. But Bill's a special guy, so we do things for him.
Tell us about that bike. On the opposite end of the spectrum. Now, what size is that? Like a 35 centimeter?
Interestingly enough, this is the biggest bike I've ever built, and this is the smallest bike I've ever built by far. This is for Scout. She's a CAF member, and I think she's 4'5", and so you can see that to get the standover height clearance, I actually had to drop the top tube down below the head tube. 650 wheels, short cranks. The cool thing about this is she's so tiny that her hands are very small, and she isn't able to shift conventional shifters with ease. So this has the internal Durace electric that has the shifter buttons here and here.
Beautiful.
And so she can shift it. It's great.
So you custom routed the cable internal for this frame?
You can see this. Actually, Shimano makes a kit for the frame builders that allows us to run all the wiring internally.
Great.
All the way through, as you can see. The battery pack I put down here to give room for 2 bottles.
Yep.
There's not a lot of space to work with on this frame, so we're pretty compact.
Now it looks like titanium, carbon fiber, you do a lot of work with, but this bike here, this steel?
That's
or is this
a steel
tie?
bike. This is one of the last steel bikes I did. Once I gravitated into titanium, I had to just shift into titanium because the fixturing has to be so clean with titanium that with steel you're using flux and stuff, so I didn't see the need to keep on doing it.
Yep. Now with the ISO and the ExoGrid frames, weight-wise, how do they compare to, let's say, just a tie-only frame or a carbon-only frame?
If that frame was pure titanium, let's say it was 3 pounds, that frame, the ExoGrid, would be maybe 2 3/4. This might be 2.5. Yep. So getting down there, but not quite.
Lighter than tie, but a little heavier than carbon.
Exactly.
Yep.
A molded carbon frame could be 2 pounds or around in there. However, in all honesty, the durability issue, most of the weight is in the chainstays and in the titanium dropout. Yep. The front triangle is as light, or maybe even lighter than a lot of molded carbon frames.
Yeah.
But with the chain issues right here, I just didn't feel like carbon there would be a good choice. Yep. Even if you're going lightweight. So at some point you've got to weigh the durability issues, and I think that's a big point. Yep.
Well, if you've been looking for a custom bike and you can't figure out whether you want titanium or you want carbon fiber, Bill Holland might be able to help you out with his EXO and ISO grid technology. You can have the best of both worlds. Bill, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.